My videos are pretty scripted, or I have like some kind of idea what I want to talk about, but this video I'm just gonna like rant for a while. In this video I just want to talk about why I think Valve is wrong in the direction that they're trying to take the game by removing jump throws. I think it's just the wrong idea in general for Counter-Strike. The first thing I want to say about this is that nobody would really care about these kind of changes if CSGO and CS2 weren't like the best performing games on Steam over the last like 10 years. I think if like a game like Overwatch or Siege made these kind of changes, people would be like, whatever, who cares, whatever. It doesn't, who gives a fuck, right? And on the 19th of August this year, Valve removed snap tap and jump throw binds, or at least they tried to, right? Like you can still do them. I made a video about how you can still do them pretty easily with binds and configs. But by hard coding these things out of the game, but leaving other things like auto strafe configs that you can do with just text files, or like auto lineup configs that exist for doing instant smokes now. This shit is insane, by the way, if you haven't seen this. I don't use these, but they're the idea is ridiculous. But now there's like three camps of people when it comes to these binds. There are people who are very annoyed and want the jump throw change reverted. There's people who don't really give a fuck, who are like casual players, which fair enough. And then there's another subset of people who are like, why are you crying so much about having your auto config removed? And it's actually a skill thing that you should get better at the game. The idea that like people who say this are like somehow really nuts at the game already. And it's like, oh, well, I had to get good. It's like, why can't you do it? It's like, name me one person besides Stiko who has said that. And you know, I can almost guarantee that Stiko, when he plays, uses some kind of jump throw bind still, or like hits N and space at the same time and doesn't use the built-in feature that Valve added, right? Like think about this, right? One of the main use cases for jump throw binds and forward jump throw binds, or W jump throw binds, whatever you want to call them, is smoking mid-window on Mirage instantly and smoking house on Ancient instantly, right? With the W jump throw. These nades have been a staple on these maps now for years at this point. And doing a W jump throw with no bind is just insanely annoying, right? If you don't know the tech to like hit W and space and N at the same time, it's so annoying. And it just doesn't, they don't land consistently when you do it like that. So you have to use a jump throw bind. And what I think people really misunderstand about jump throws specifically, even though it is an automation of a quote unquote skill, is that the skill of a jump throw is knowing how and when and why to use the lineup, and not actually how to use the like bind to do the jump. Like who gives a shit about if you can click the button like that properly, you know, when there's no pressure, right? Like it's just such a lame excuse to add this stupid skill ceiling raise, quote unquote, when all it does is just force people to use these binds even harder and you know, skirt around the rules. Like where are we going with this, you know? You know, I like Richard Lewis's content a lot. Like I consume a lot of, I watch almost all of his videos that he posts in full. But I think he's just wrong about jump throws, and people like, well, you're gonna cry about jump throws being taken out of the game. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna cry about it because it makes the game less fun. Like, what do you want? I'll just quit the game. Like, fine, bro. Like, okay, you guys win. I quit the game. Wow. Hope it feels good, you know? Like, it's just kind of lame to have that mentality. The other thing I want to talk about in this video is that Alexi B clip with the guy on Reddit who posted the like slow-mo video. I think it kind of blew up on Twitter over this weekend.
Recommend anyone who's watching this to download CSGO and just go shoot one bot at a server.
And it shows how CS2 just has a worse render pipeline than CSGO does, and it's a lot slower. And it contributes mostly to the like slow feel of your shots, right? And your movement, just like everything kind of feeling a little ice skatey and just kind of delayed. And you know, you can get used to it, but it just doesn't feel the same, right? Most people, since CS2 came out and we were like forced to move over to the new game, right? They haven't probably launched CSGO and felt what it feels like. But if you're watching this video and you haven't tried and like gone and played aimbots in CSGO, like you might throw your monitor out the window when you shoot a bot or like play on a KZ server. It feels so drastically different. And I think this case is a lot different from the like transfer between 1.6 to source to go, and then go to 2. They're all like different things, right? If you go back and you try to play like Source and 1.6, they feel so clunky and they don't really feel that precise. They just kind of feel random. These games, like if you go watch 1.6, it looks like people are, you know, shooting air and getting kills. Like it looks so weird. Source is just kind of scuffed in general. But Go had such a advanced development cycle until the end of its life that the end of Go in like 2019 through 2024, it feels so incredibly good for a modern game, which is why it was the biggest game on Steam forever, right? Besides like PUBG, but who knows if those player numbers are real on PUBG, right? With all the Chinese like bot farmers on that game. The point is that people who really care and put a lot of time into CSGO and CS2 because they really love the game and they play it as like a hobby or like a semi-professional level, like not a pro level, just, you know, really trying hard to play well and have fun. It's just like, man, the shooting mechanics and the movement mechanics, those are the things that matter the most, right? It's like how you control your person, right? It's as if like we were all playing on like perfect trimmed green grass soccer pitches. And then all of a sudden one day, every single pitch was just made bumpy, had a bunch of crabgrass, just slightly tilted one way. You know, it's like, oh, well, we're gonna fix it over time. It's like, well, that's frustrating for the average player. And people are like right to be mad about it. It's like, well, the common argument against that is just not even an argument. It's like, well, just quit the game then. It's like, okay, fine, I'll stop playing the game. It's like, you win, bro. It's the same thing with like the jump throw bind. It's like, you win, man. I'll just stop playing the game. It's like, say goodbye to your esports journalist job when this game dies, you know? And I don't think CS2 will ever really die. Like some of these other games just like completely fall off a cliff, you know? CS2 is, and CSGO, they're so grassroots and they're so beloved by the hardcore like esports fan and people who enjoy this kind of game. It's like, it's so beloved. There's no second best, right? Like Valorant can try, but at the end of the day, it's just kind of a scuffed version of CSGO and CS2. It's not really comparable. They have their own thing going on over there. But yeah, I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. This is not a normal type video that I'm going to make on this channel. So yeah, peace.